Welcome to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, brought to you by Pilma. This podcast helps lead lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Here is your legal marketing expert and host, Ken Hardison.
Hi, this is Gracie Howells with Pilma. Let's hit pause for just a second on this episode because I have to tell you about this event that every forward-thinking PI firm should have on their calendar this January. It's the AI for PI Expo in Orlando, Florida, January 15th through 17th. This is the very first conference of its kind dedicated entirely to showing personal injury firms how to harness AI to save time, cut costs, and grow faster. You'll get hands-on demos, practical training, and access to the best AI solutions built for law firms. Reserve your spot now at pilma.org/AI for PI Expo via the link in the show notes.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Grow Your Law Firm. And today we have the honor and privilege of having Ed Levy with Ed Ventures. And I've known Ed for several years now, and we'll be talking about something that not many law firms even know about. Some of our masterminds at Pilma are using it, his system, and are getting some great results. So we're going to share this. We usually don't share the secrets of the mastermind. We're going to share them today, okay? So welcome to the show, Ed.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. It's happy to be here. Grateful for the opportunity to talk about what we're doing and how it's helping law firms grow.
Okay. So I'm just going to let you take it because tell me what it is, how it works, the whole deal, and the purpose and why it works.
Okay, so the program is called I Love My PI Lawyer, and the website's ilovemypilawyer.com. And the whole premise is using curated gifting experiences to help PI lawyers build stronger relationships with their existing clients, which builds more trust and fosters referrals. So that's the essence of the program.
Okay.
The key thing, I mean, there's a couple of major points. And the first one is that we've noticed that PI lawyers are sitting on a gold mine and they've got this pool of existing clients. But when we look at the traditional marketing mix, existing clients is not anywhere in that pie. You've got digital, out of home, direct mail, all of these things, but existing clients isn't part of that mix. And what's overlooked is that your existing clients originate from a trusted source, the least expensive source of referral, and it's the fastest conversion. So our program is all about helping you build relationships with the people that you already know, the people that have had great experiences with you, and the people.
Yeah, and I actually wrote a book 10 years ago, believe it or not. I know I'm getting old, but it's called Under Promise, Over Deliver. And I talk about the three phases of marketing. And one of them, I call it before representation, which everybody does, during representation, which is what you're talking about today, and after representation, past clients, which I think this could be used for that too. But what I'm saying is everybody does before representation, and maybe 20% does during representation, and maybe 10% after. Like you said, they're sitting on a gold mine. And what I've seen is the lawyers that push the existing in the past, it doesn't cost as much, and the referrals are better, and they're easier to convert. So I've been you're preaching to the choir. I've been preaching this, 20 years, and actually wrote about it 10 years ago. So you don't have to convince me. I've been advocating this for years. So
okay, great. Let's talk about sports then.
Yeah. So it's just another tool in the toolbox I see is massaging your present and past clients. And for those that don't know, I actually I've used you for 2 years now, and what I do is I use it for all our members at Pilma, and we send out really nice gifts. I mean, and it's we do it around Thanksgiving, Christmas time, but it's just really just let them know we appreciate them, and that we care. I mean, and we try to do something that's useful and something that's nice and that's well done. So I can vouch for you. Your stuff's not willy dilly or cheap. It's nice stuff.
Well, thank you very much. It's a privilege. I mean, what we're doing is, everybody thinks of gifts, but when we dig into the whole process from start to finish, when we talk about differentiation, our creative development process, which is the very beginning, it's an hour-long brainstorming, and it's really important that the decision makers, which is typically the name on the door, even for the largest of firms, to get that personality and understanding, and it shows up in the custom design that we do for each firm. And no two firms have even close to the same design. Even though the products might be the same, the designs are completely different. And when we look at the collection, even behind us, there's, duplicates of like this box and this box are the same gift. And you would never even know that they're so different. They're from different parts of the country.
Right.
And it's but even more important than that is the messaging.
When have you found the people that are using this, the lawyers? When is the best time to send these gifts? And then we'll get back into what type of gifts, but when is the best time, or is there several times?
Well, there are several times, and there's 3 milestones, which is onboarding, mid-case, and post-settlement. Now, the distinction of post-settlement versus settlement is that when you give away a gift, a physical gift, at the same time you're giving them the check, you've lost that connection. So the gift is just, okay, great, I'm about the money. When you give a meaningful and high perceived value gift, 30 to 60 days after that case is over, which is casually, it's the gone but not forgotten gesture, it means a whole lot more. And that's the, oh my God, I can't believe these guys did that. Now, one of the really important things about the gift experiences that we build is the difference between a gift and advertising. And the rule of thumb is that the recipient doesn't change their attitude more favorably towards the giver until that gift has a perceived value of at least $25 to $35. Anything less than that is advertising. So putting a bunch of swag in a bag does have its place, but that is not going to build a stronger bond where people are like, oh my God, that's really thoughtful. So our gifts have no advertising. They don't have phone numbers on them. There maybe would be a URL on the box, but there's no call to action. As soon as you put a call to action in there, it's no longer a gift. So it's that thoughtful message with the high perceived value gift that moves the needle. And that's hugely important for this.
Yeah. So can you give me an idea of what kind of gifts? And have you, I think if I remember correctly, you got like different ranges, like a $25 box, a $50 box, a $100 box, different things.
All right. So the gifts range from the high 30s to $150, depending upon volume. And it's we have 9 standard gifts, and they're semi-custom, meaning there's variables because not everyone's going to want the same thing. And it's we're finding glassware, blankets, drinkware categorically are very popular. And then there's technology. So we can mix all those different things together and put together a gift that it will look custom for sure. It will not look cookie cutter at all. And that's where the conversation of, what's your volume, what's your profit margin, your average settlement amount, and all of those things go into consideration. And we're also able to predict the ROI based on all those factors. And typically, as little as 1% to 3% increase in referrals pays for the whole program. And that's an average no matter what size firm you are, whether you're at the $20,000 expenditure or 6 figures on these programs. And
yeah, and I think, and another thing that I like about it is that, if you do it midterm, like, after about 90, 180 days in the case or whatever, you guys actually ship it out for the lawyers, right?
Oh, yep, we do everything. It's from designing,
Speaking,
producing it, assembling it, put it on the shelf, fulfillment. So all that you have to do is send us your list once a week, and we ship it directly to your clients, whether it's commercial or residential address. So we take all that out of your office, which many times the people doing that UPS, FedEx work are trying to source this, give us the Christmas came early smile, and just can't thank us enough for making their life a little easier, because it's
Yeah.
we haven't met a law firm
And
yet. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, I think the psychology of it to me, and you can go more in depth in it, but the first thing that works out at me is that this is kind of like you give something to somebody that's not expecting it, and then they become ingratiated to your, it creates this reciprocity. And also, I think so too, like if you're doing it midway through the case, some people are getting upset because it's taking so long and this and that and whatever. And I think it kind of says, well, these guys just don't really give a shit about me. But I think when you give them that, it kind of says, well, maybe they do care about me, maybe I'm being too harsh. I think it kind of softens some people up. I mean, I think the better deal at the end. And
It definitely does. I mean, this is all about human nature. This is all about, think about when you or anybody listening to this gives a gift or gets a gift, and what do you want to happen when you give a gift? And typically nobody goes out and buys a gift for someone they don't like. I mean, we'll put the in-laws separate from that, but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's this whole book. This guy wrote this book. You probably know all about it. I read it many years ago called Giftology. And his big deal was sending these knives, these carving knives with your name engraved on them. I actually got one, and it's still in my kitchen drawer. And it's a great knife. I mean, it's probably $150 knife. I mean, it's I can't remember what they call it, but it's a hell of a knife. And I mean, I remember that it was given to me by the guy that wrote the book Giftology, which I don't remember his name, which is terrible. But the deal is, I still got it there, and I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
I've done that. I've actually made gifts for clients and been on the recipient list of those. And every Thanksgiving, we're pulling that knife set out. It's been 8 years, and it's fantastic. It's a great memento, super thoughtful, very personal, and it's not ordinary. And those are the types of things that we're still talking about it. You're talking about it. I've got that experience. A lot of people are looking for unique things, and those are
yeah,
something that
and I can tell you, I mean, before I met you, I was having to do this every year. We had to go out trying to find these gifts, have engravings put on them. I mean, I've done like hourglasses and little compasses and different things over the years, and calendars that sit on your desk and different things. But to get something that's unique, because I wanted something different, something that they would, like you say, perceive value, but also something that it's got some shit. I like to call it shelf life. It's like even in the advertising part of it, and people laugh at me when I say this, but Ed, the best advertising swag I've ever done in my life cost like $2.50 a piece, and it's a plastic pizza cutter. I swear to God, I mean, this is not what we're talking about today, but I'm just sitting there thinking it's the same. I try to think about it the same way as I want shelf life. Ink pens, they get thrown away, whatever, all this stuff, lip balm, all this other stuff. It's good advertisement, but it has no shelf life.
right. So
If you give somebody a knife set, or you give somebody a $35 Yeti cup that's real, not a fake, not a knockoff, it's going to be around unless they lose it. It's got some shelf life.
right, exactly. So the misnomer about swag, and I've been doing this for 20 years. It's promotional products do have a high recall. However, what they don't tell you is only when asked. So 90% of people do have a branded item in their kitchen, and 86% of the people will remember that when they're asked. But unless it's on an appliance, only 1% of the people at any given time are calling off of a branded item.
Right.
I've been doing this 20 years, and people offered us, oh, we'll put your logo on the shirt and give you a discount. I'm like, I've never called anyone off of a shirt, off of a tote bag, off of those things. But don't get me wrong, there is a place for branding and advertising. It's just not going to create a call to action. And along where it fits into that marketing effort is, if there's a tote bag, then you've got your bus stop, and then you've got your bus, then you've got your billboard, then there's another t-shirt. All of that is part of that advertising mix that is super important. And people do love free stuff. People do use it. And it's more of a reinforcement as opposed to a instigator or incentive. So,
and I like the way you come up with these little cards. You got little sayings on them, like blanket. What's your little tagline for the blanket?
well, there's sometimes the most obvious ones are, they've got you covered, but it's to protect, to keep you warm. And we try to use a little more personal touch about it. And in the gift cards or the note cards that we help our clients write, is explaining why we chose these gifts for you. And it makes it a whole lot more meaningful as
And
opposed
more personal,
oh, I got these glasses, and it says thank you. I'm like, why did I get these glasses? Well, you got these glasses because they're sturdy and they're fragile and they're resilient and they're transparent, and there's all these characteristics that can lend to the voice of the law firm or the attorney that's giving it. And that's one of the fun parts about it. And that's another thing that makes it personal. And now more than ever, we've got AI and there's technology. So the information that law firms are able to give their clients is super important. It's super meaningful. However, it's more technical. There's not a human factor in it, but it's really important because we are all humans, and especially during an injury recovery, people are pretty vulnerable and they want to know that they're being thought about. So this is one of those brand differentiators that eliminates the sameness between you and another law firm. Now, you don't know that when you're looking at the website, but you sure as heck know it when you're going through the experience. And if you look at our whole program, is controlling the narrative about how your clients talk about you to other people. That's the whole essence of it. So you want people to get these gifts and go, oh my God, you're not going to believe what Ken gave me. And they'll be like, who's Ken? Oh, he's my lawyer. Versus, oh, I got a box from my lawyer. They're not going to talk about it. So it's just, again, bring it back to personal. Think about when you've got a gift, you're like, oh my God, and you can't wait to tell 10 people. That's what we're working to create. And it's working. And the reason we know it's working is because our clients reorder and add experiences, and they love to see designs that they never would have been creating, because we take a brand and we make a gift out of it, like it's Saks Fifth Avenue or Tiffany's or a premium brand. And it's great seeing the smiles on their faces when we come back to the designs and they're like, this is way better than we expected. So it's creative, it's tangible, it's personal, and it works.
No, I know it works. I mean, I think it works. I mean, I think you can do it at the beginning of the case too. Like, I think after the first 30 days, people were kind of still trying to decide whether or not they like you or want to stay with you or whatever. And I think that could break the ice. I think mid case, and I like the way you do it, like 30 or 60 days. If it was me, I'd do it 60 days, because you're right. When you got the money there, that's what that's what their mind's on top of, is that. And when you give them something after you already got your fee and they got their money, that lets them know that you really care and that they're important to you. And I think it's top of mind awareness, the branding stuff. I don't know if you got anybody doing it, but I used to, I know this is crazy, the different states are different. You can't like give something of value to somebody for referring you a case. But what I used to do is I used to rank my referrers, past clients, and like anybody from 1 to 2, they got this size of gifts. Anybody like 3 to 5 got this size of gift, and somebody above 5 got this nice. And I would periodically, like 2 or 3 times a year, send out these gifts. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't say it was for the referral. I just say thank you for being one of our Raven fans, and because I had to be careful about ethics, right? But yeah, I had him graded out, and it was part of my whole referral system. I mean, staying in front of them, creating this stuff, and then like the first one be under 50, the next one be like around 100, and then the big one would be maybe $200, because somebody sends me over 5 referrals, that's $50,000 back. I mean, minimum.
Right.
I think I could afford a $200 gift. Somebody gave me $50,000 worth of fees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
totally.
I don't know if you got anybody doing that, and it was a headache for us, but we did it, and my staff hated it. I had to hire a separate marketing assistant just to work on that, and birthday cards and different other stuff, all about past clients. We were really pushing, and it was a pain in the butt. And we didn't, and we couldn't get as nice a boxes as you got back then. To be honest with you, we did the best we could, but your stuff looks like, I don't know, comes from Fifth Avenue. I mean, from Tiffany's or something. I mean, it's just really nice, and it's got the good branding on it and everything. But anyway, I mean, I don't know if you're doing that, but that would be something, you guys out there that are listening to this, that would be a great thing, and he could take it off of you. But and you got to check with your state bars. Like I said, sometimes you can do it different, but I thought it really worked, and it was another thing to stay on top of the mind of the people that your past clients. It's that third phase after representation. And I just thought it was, just don't give them one gift. Keep doing it. And there's a lot of, I don't know, just my thoughts. I'm not saying you got to do it, but it worked for me. And I just thought about this today, Ed.
Well, there's a couple things that's racing through my mind. Well, one, it's when you give it throughout the case management, it continues to, there's two things that happen. One, you're building that human connection. And two, you're giving people a reason to talk about you to other people. So you're building the chatter, you're building those things, and they do lead to reviews, to unsolicited reviews. My wife, for example, you say hello to her in a restaurant. Who's your manager? I want to write a review. So there's people like that are really willing to go out there and make sure that people know that an act of kindness, which sometimes may be rare, is documented and shared. And then coming back to the whole referral gift, that is something that we are offering, and it is logistically challenging for ones and twos. And we have the ability to create small gifts with personal notes. So we only offer that to people that are part of the program, because it's more like an added benefit that we offer, because we know it's important, and we know that you can't keep giving that same person the same thing. It loses meaning, and no one wants the same thing over and over.
So my hope is that, I mean, of course I would use you, I do use you, but if you're listening to this, even if you say, well, I just don't want to hire, I want to do it in-house, that's fine. But the deal is, do it, and you got to be systematic about it. And like everything else in marketing, you got to be persistent. You can't do it. I mean, what I'm saying is, you got to be consistent. It's the word I want to use. It's like doing a blog. If you're not going to do it consistently, I tell people, don't do them. If you're not going to do newsletters consistently, don't do them. And I would say with this gifting, if you're not going to do it consistently, don't do it. If you don't need the cases, then don't do it.
Right.
I don't know. But I'm just saying, there's a lot of things here to learn from this. And I would also recommend reading this book, Giftology. If you don't believe what we say, read this book, because it'll explain it probably a lot more deeper than we can in 30 minutes. If people want to get up with you, Ed, how can they do that?
Well, they can go to ilovemypilawyer.com is the best way, or Ed at edventurepromotions.com. But go to the website. You'll be able to contact our phone number. Everything is out there. We're happy to walk you through the whole process. It's a very different way of looking at gifting than most people are used to. And that difference between the gift and advertising is a light bulb going off. We get a lot of ahas, and we get a lot of wow, this is amazing. And moments of proud moments of the names on the door when they
Yeah.
see what their brand is transferred into, and that messaging and that connection. It makes a connection with them. They know it's going to make a connection with the people they're giving it to. And I think you combine the psychology of gifting with the power of recommendation, and you create this perfect combination of emotional connection and the most powerful determinant in a purchasing decision. And by no accident, that's exactly what our I Love My PI Lawyer gift experiences are like.
Right. Well, it's good chatting with you. I think this is something that's not everybody will do it, but I think the ones that'll do it will be vastly rewarded. So that's it. This is a wrap. Thank you, Ed, as always. And until next time, this is Ken Hardison, dedicated to your success.
You got it. Thanks so much, Ken.
All right.
You have been listening to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, the podcast that leads lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Go to growyourlawfirm.com to find more ways to market and manage your law firm. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts.